So an October 16th article in the Daily News chronicles a long fight that culminated in the passage in the New York City Council of Local Law 31, which regulates the placement of billboards. And it regulates the placement of billboards all over the city. And this protection of city drivers is the reason for this decision. But it was worth millions of dollars to those people who own billboards. And one of us joins us right now, Marty Judge. Good afternoon, Marty.
Hello, Governor. Thank you for having me on.
So was there ever any research or data that demonstrated that people who looked at billboards would be more prone to have accidents?
Well, there's numerous, I would say different universities have been tackling that for 50 years, and it's an argument that has yet to be proven.
Right. So what was the impetus for, now I know for a period of time, many who would have suffered were able to get restraining orders and delay the implementation of the law. But about a year ago, a judge finally said that the buildings department of the city of New York could levy $25,000 fines against billboard owners. And it has had a mammoth effect. In the article, I noticed that Empire erectors are laid off 44 of their 50 workers, so pretty much put them out of business.
They're just one contractor. There's many contractors like that throughout the city, mostly in the outer boroughs. And getting back to the impetus, but this law was written. The city claims it was written on the basis of safety and aesthetics. Okay, there was never a safety, any kind of safety, looked into at all. There was never any kind of investigation throughout the city to date on this issue. And secondly, aesthetically, they've created an abandonment of once vibrant industry, and now you see these billboards that are graffitied and fallen into disrepair because they removed the economics of it.
And at this point, what redress do you and the other billboard owners have?
Well, we're in a holding pattern. It's probably why we're reaching out to everybody we can for help, and I appreciate having us on. We've met with we have a host of elected officials who are sympathetic. Bill de Blasio, the public advocate, was on this before its passage, and he realized it was going to cause an abandonment. Leroy Comrie, the current head of land use, tried to broker some help between the city, but it's met some resistance at the mayor's office to date. And we're hoping that we can find some common ground. Even last year, we had a bill in Albany that would have created $15 to $40 million in annual revenues for the state. And at the last minute, it lost power, and there was resistance from City Hall.
Especially right now when resources are meager and we're all trying to get out of the recession. There also is a complaint in the article that billboard owners across the city have complained that while they have been forced to shut down ads on their billboards, the ones owned by Van Wagner have gone untouched during this period. What do you think about that?
Well, I think that you'd have to ask the city about that, and someone should dig into the sign enforcement division at the Department of Buildings and see if that's the case. But there would certainly be a number of signs that remain up throughout the city that I would know that wouldn't have the appropriate permits, and I don't know if they're being enforced upon, but the advertisements are still up. On my billboards, there's nothing but white billboards and some graffiti. I had to take everything down with many other operators.
And you were making about what from the two billboards from the billboards that you had?
The billboards that I had?
Yeah.
Oh, I had 7 billboards.
And so that's a tremendous income that you had that was taken away as a result of this action.
It wouldn't be tremendous, but it was enough to pay my bills, and I was building a bigger business, and then everything got ripped out from under me. I was shut down overnight. So, it was devastating, to say the least. And there's a number of guys like me, but, you look at a company like Empire Erectors, all the labor that's been let go, because I would employ guys like that to go install the new ads, fix the lights, paint the pools, keep things clean.
Now, prior to the judge's ruling that they could start to enforce this code, were there restrictions on the billboards? I mean, there's certain type, for instance, if there was a billboard that had a kind of ghastly scene on it, it could be frightening to a driver, or maybe even a scantily clad person that would titillate the driver and cause them to lose focus, which is the same thing that cell phones and texting does.
I think from time to time that could happen, and there's a sensationalism of a certain ad, but I've worked for bigger companies prior to starting my own, and I would say we always did a fantastic job with policing the content, and certainly we had sensitivity to certain neighborhoods, but most of these billboards are in manufacturing zones. They're on the LIE in Long Island City or the Major Deegan in the Bronx, or they're not the types of billboards that you see walking along the streets of Greenwich Village or telephone advertising. These are the bigger billboards on the arterial highways. So
Marty, what's next? What are you trying to do to win back your opportunity to earn a living?
Well, I'm currently trying to develop billboards in other states. I've focused my efforts on that for the time being, but I'm hoping that some discourse will start with the city at some point. One of the biggest things in New York that's the hypocrisy of the whole situation is that the city of New York is currently building billboards on their own property with their media partners, the New York City Housing Authority.
And they can be viewed from the streets by drivers?
They can be viewed. Certainly, the Port Authority is putting up billboards in the face of this new law, and they're all going to claim exemption, or, it's tough to fight the city on city property.
I guess it is. Well, thanks very much, Marty. We'll check back with you. It's Stad's story for what's happening to you. Maybe we'll try to get the city on here and hear their version. Right now, we're going to go to the 5 o'clock